Hey you, it's me, your mom, and we made it. We're reaching the end of the second trimester. It feels so weird. The last few weeks, I feel like they went by too quickly for me. It feels like not much has changed in the recent weeks, but yet so much has changed, and the changes will only continue to come with the weeks that remain. I am a little bit sad, actually, that the weeks flew by. They went by too quickly. I thought the second trimester would drag on for some reason. I'm not sure why I even thought that. I'm not sure if I'm even happy with the way I've been spending the last few weeks. Did they go by so quickly because I've been busy with everything else in life? Or did they go by quickly because I've been making use of all the time that I have left, like this? Or is that the same thing that I just said? The past few days, I've been cheating a bit. Some days, I don't want to go on early morning walks. Sometimes I want to sleep in until 8:30, then quickly get up out of bed and go brush my teeth and rush over to my work desk and read my emails. Sign on to my morning meeting with my camera off because, because your mom didn't have time to brush her hair. I don't want to be productive every second of the day. And like people have been telling me recently, get as much sleep as you can. Rest as much as you can now. Enjoy your sleep while you still can. Take advantage of the sleep you can get now, etc. Today, and this week, I want a slower start to my day. All the Wonderlist I've been doing lately, it isn't as premeditated as you might think. Even during my work days, I gotta get a morning hike or a nice long walk in somewhere quiet before I can sit glued to my computer all day. Pregnancy, especially reaching the end of my second and headed into my third trimester, it hasn't slowed me down, and I don't think there are any signs so far of me needing to take it easy anytime soon. I think we have something in common. We both like to walk around aimlessly, whether alone or together with Kobe like this. One day, you won't be wanting to hike around with me. It might just be you and Kobe together one day without me. That actually makes me want to cry. Not necessarily sad tears, but happy ones. Kobe will be your companion one day, the way that he's been mine. Recently, my mom's sister made the first purchase from my Amazon baby registry. There was an item I added to my registry that I knew for sure my mom wasn't going to get me, but I was hoping someone might see it and make the connection, and ultimately purchase it for me. My mom's sister did. She made the connection. My mom always said I was more like her sister than I was like her. I should have been my aunt's daughter instead, because that's how much I resemble her. I added a hiking baby backpack to my baby registry. I didn't even know there was something like this out there, but when I saw someone with it on TikTok one night, I really wanted it. I told myself, if no one makes the connection and gets it for me, I'll get it myself. But my mom's sister, she saw it and she understood. With my new hiking backpack being put into use in the near future, I want to make sure I can carry you on my back. So these morning walks and long hikes I've been doing, there's an incentive that comes with it. I can grow stronger while still growing you so that we can both be stronger together in the future. I've been fantasizing about what I will look like carrying you on my back, going on a good, long, quiet hike together. Sometimes, on my hikes or my long walks, I come across parents with the dad carrying their baby in their hiking backpack, and I get so envious because I can't wait for that to be us. I know I can carry you on my back if I just keep working harder, get stronger, build endurance and stamina. So, this summer, where should our first hiking spot be? Should we go somewhere quiet with many hills and trees? Or should we go somewhere quiet with many rivers that lead to a beautiful waterfall? Or should we go to Hawaii together and hike where me and your dad once hiked before? Do you remember this place? The last time I came here, I was 9 weeks pregnant, I think. I think I was 8 weeks pregnant, actually. Somewhere in between the two. The last time I came here, everything was the same as it is now, yet different. To him, it's okay for him to say whatever he wants about you, but it's not okay for me to move on, share my pregnancy journey, and live the life that I want to live. He doesn't have to have any grace for you, but apparently I'm supposed to meet his double standards and have grace for him and his family. Abraham, you didn't take my child's feelings into consideration from the moment you learned about their existence, but I'm supposed to somehow care about you and your family's feelings. You still don't see this baby as a person and as a member of your family. Yet I'm supposed to care about what you think or feel. I sat there and I turned the other cheek when you said those awful things about our child. My response was simply, I hope you have a change of heart about baby, because baby didn't do anything to you. Abby, you're a liar, but we've already established that. You're lying. And you're lying on your own flesh and blood. Because I think by now, you can't ignore that the way you handled October 7th was a bad look for you. And I think you only care now because who would want to date a deadbeat and absent father? Unless you lie. You lie on your own child, which is what I think you have been doing already, without hesitation. You told me you supported my decision, since it was my body, but that you did not want anything to do with this baby or me if I decided not to terminate. You know, with that logic, you never really did support my decision. As a person, as the mother of your child, or as a woman with bodily autonomy, you only supported me if I terminated my pregnancy after you degraded my child on October 7th to my face. You thought if you said all the right things to me, I would cave into your desire in terminating my pregnancy for your sake. And not for the first time. For the second time. But this time around, you are none of my concern. I think it's obvious that your dad is running with the narrative to the people in his life, that I have the audacity to bring a child into this world in hopes to somehow re-spark a romantic relationship with him. Abraham, Abby, you honestly think after October 7th, actually, since the moment I found out I was pregnant and the way that you and your family treated me, and most importantly treated my baby ever since, that I would have an ounce of romantic feelings left for you? You honestly believe I'm still in love with you after all of that? I guess everyone's a prize in someone else's eyes. But you, Abraham, you're not a prize in my eyes. The real prize is my baby. I already won the lottery in life by choosing them. Do you remember this place? I came here when I was 8 or 9 weeks pregnant. And the last time I came here, everything was the same as it is now. Yet different. Now, I'm happy and I'm more at peace and excited that I get to meet you really, really soon. I couldn't really conceptualize these emotions the last time I came here. It didn't seem real or tangible to me at that point in time. Secretly, if things remain as is, it would be relieving that I don't have to share you with anyone, that I get to have you all to myself. I'm selfish, aren't I? Yet, I'm almost a bit relieved that it is just going to be me and you for the foreseeable future. I think I made the right decision since the very beginning. I made the right decision in choosing you over your dad. I never hesitated in picking you. I never did. Just a little bit longer. So, can you guys tell the difference? Does it look any different to you guys? Yeah. My stepdad over the weekend, he was able to paint my whole entire room. That was what I've kind of wanted to get done first before I actually start working on the actual nursery nook, which is going to be all of this. That's why this has been empty this entire time, because this is going to be all baby's area and Kobe's area. Give me 1 second, okay? And so, yeah, I mean, I didn't want to do all white because I don't want it to feel like bland in here. I kind of wanted a color that was still neutral, but that, I don't know, still had some type of like character to it, considering what my theme for the nursery is going to be. So I went with this really nice, it's still neutral. I know there are a lot of people who are like so sick and tired of seeing neutral colored nurseries, because I do agree there should be color in a nursery. It shouldn't be like aesthetically pleasing, because it's supposed to be for a baby. There's supposed to be color and personality. I ended up going with the color Cotton Knit, and I only needed 1 gallon to paint the entirety of my room. And this specific collection from Bear actually is just a 1 coat process. So I think that's why it ended up working out and very like efficiently time-wise with just 1 gallon for all of my walls in my room. And the paint specialist at Home Depot actually told me to go with the flat. That's usually what people get for interior walls in rooms. And yeah, this is the color that I decided to go with for the nursery. And on the back of this, it does say Cotton Knit may appear as light smoky gray on the walls. Can you guys even like tell the difference? Is it like noticeably different? I think it is, because the room that this color was painted prior, it kind of felt like it was like a weird neutral, like it was like a weird neutral gray toned color, and it just really made this room feel like depressing and darker. I didn't really like it, and I've been holding off in general, not just with the nursery, but like making my side of the room look the way I want it to look and like what I've had envisioned for it. But I did know that I wouldn't start even working on my half of the room until I began working on the nursery, or at least had the colors and like the theme picked out.
just because I want everything to be kind of cohesive in this room, according to what the nursery is going to be. So yeah, it's definitely getting real in here because yeah, I told myself once the walls are painted and the colors picked and the nursery's theme is picked, that is when the fun starts. So I'm taking baby steps still. Nesting hasn't definitely hit me yet, but you know, it's becoming more real as you know, I start doing prepping and seriously purchasing things towards, you know, the nursery. So yeah, I hope you guys don't think this color is ugly. I wish the baby was here to tell me too, like what they think. Eventually they'll tell me all their opinions. But yeah, this is what Mom chose to go with. Mom wanted something neutral, something a little bit warm. It kind of feels like a warm color to me, and I really like it. It made as soon as I stepped into the room after my stepdad finished painting for me, the room automatically felt a lot more like inviting, bright, and warm at the same time, even though it is kind of like a neutral, cold color. You know, like when I think of neutrals, I think like cold, kind of. But this makes me feel a little bit warm. But so I'm happy with the choice that I went with. It wasn't easy because they were all looking the same the day that I was there picking out like the color. Everything felt like it was the same. I was looking at like the same white, but like with different names. So yeah. This is the first step into prepping the nursery. So this is my side of the room. My side is pretty much done. I think the biggest elephant in the room is that ugly brown headboard. Bed frame is gone. I don't know if you guys noticed, but up until now, since I moved here, I had that ugly brown. It wasn't ugly, it just wasn't my style, I guess. And it obviously didn't go with the rest of the furniture on my side of the room since everything else is like white. But I had no choice. When I first moved to California, I had that gray metal bed frame that I used for the last 5 years. You guys have probably seen it in my older vlogs. When I was living in Koreatown, and I've had it ever since I moved to California. It was actually a pretty sentimental, emotional process getting rid of it. But I do know my mom used to clown me. She used to make fun of me for like not having a bed frame with like a headboard. She just thought it was like very ridiculous. So she used to like clown me all the time. She said it looked like I was like living like a homeless person. She said it looked ugly and was like tacky. And she said, now that I'm going to be a mom and I'm turning 27, I need to get myself a new bed frame, obviously that like is cohesive with the rest of my furniture, and one that has a bed frame. I personally didn't mind not having a bed frame. I kind of liked the aesthetic of it. I know a lot of people like not having headboards. I never thought anything of it, but my mom was just like, it's so ugly, like don't get a new bed frame that doesn't have a headboard, because I was actually considering it and just getting it like in white. But yeah, it's gone. It's no longer here. The brown one that I was using since moving into this house was actually one of my mom's old bed frames that she's just had as an extra one in her garage. So I ended up just using it because I told myself I wouldn't buy anything towards my room, or I wouldn't start working on like making my room the way I wanted to until I began working on the nursery and first and foremost painting the walls. Once I started painting the walls, that's because I knew by that point I would have a nursery theme picked out, and then I didn't feel as guilty in like buying myself like a new bed frame. So yeah. So now everything, all my furniture kind of matches, everything's white. You probably have noticed like in my pregnancy vlog videos up until this point, like the front of the headboard of the brown one was like chipping and stuff. It was old, and I hated coming into my room and seeing my bed area because it just like it didn't match. I didn't like it. It wasn't an ugly headboard. It just was like it, you know, obviously it was temporary, but it wasn't my choice. It was like it was just an ugly headboard. It didn't go with what I personally like in my interior design style or whatever. I don't really have a style, but yeah. So I ended up going with this headboard. I got this headboard at IKEA, nothing crazy, nothing fancy. It was $269, so like almost like 300 and some change probably. Super cheap, super inexpensive. It looks really nice. It makes my room look brighter too now that everything matches. And I don't know, I feel like everything on this side of the room is starting to like make sense. There isn't too much to do with my room now. Like that was pretty much the biggest thing that I wanted to get out of the way, but I didn't want to start doing until I started working on the nursery at the same time. So yeah, now I have a new bed frame and my room looks, you know, pretty. I feel like it looks like Priscilla's room finally. My handy dandy fancy desk chair that my mom got me, it's working super well. It kind of matches too, because it's like gray, I guess, so kind of goes. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I'm probably gonna do to my room. You know, I am considering getting 2 like bedside tables, one for each side of the bed, just so I can keep like emergency items that I might need at arm's length for when the baby's here, so I don't have to like get out of bed, or maybe it's late at night. Stuff that should just be at arm's reach for me. So that might come in the next few weeks. I just want to, what I'm more concerned about is getting the baby's furniture in this room, and then whatever items I feel like I could probably use for myself that are missing on this side, I'll probably do after that. It's definitely like mom guilt. Like I don't want to like splurge on myself when I should really be splurging towards you know, the baby's nursery. So yeah, for me the bed frame was a $300 splurge, and it was well worth it, because the days leading up to like purchasing the bed frame, the brown one was like it was like falling apart. It was really embarrassing. So it was like a sign that God was like telling me, like, girl, go to IKEA and go get your bed frame. Like it's time. So yes. Yeah, this is it. I don't know, because I have the windows come in, like the windows are on my side of the room, so the light is hitting like directly towards this area. So I'm like, can you kind of tell like the difference in like the color that I picked out? I feel like no one's getting it. It's just like all in my head. But yeah. Do you notice anything else different about my room or my work area? Like some new color? Okay, I decided that I was gonna go in, so I ended up getting this, okay, that was weird. I ended up getting this like, kind of like a mat for my desk. It's really just a mat for my desk, mostly because I'm trying to hide a few of my existing scratches that went so deep that it's now like the actual wood, not even the paint. I scratched my desk a couple of times, and so the paint chipped off, and now you can just actually see wood, and it's been bugging me for weeks now. And so I thought I would get one of these mats from like Amazon to kind of cover it up and, I don't know, give some more character to my desk, since it, you know, I tried my best decorating a couple weeks ago, or like making things look more like pretty and like organized, but you know, this is I feel like this is as good as it's gonna get on my side of the room. I ended up getting it in purple, or like this lavender color maybe. It's a better way to describe it. I have color blindness, so please correct me if I'm wrong. But I decided to go with this lavender color because this is also a color that I want to incorporate into the baby's nursery. Throughout this whole pregnancy, my favorite color is red. Okay, so I didn't really know for a while when I started thinking about the nursery, like what I kind of wanted it to look like, the theme. The colors was really hard for me, and I don't know, for some reason throughout my pregnancy, even from the very beginning, the color lavender has like stuck out to me. I also think it's the color lavender is like the color, it's there's a specific Batone shade of lavender that's like the color of the year for 2023. And so I thought it would make sense to incorporate lavender into the nursery, considering baby will be born in May of 2023. So so I decided to get something to kind of help both sides be cohesive in that way as well. So I went with this color, and I think it actually looks really pretty, to be honest. It makes my desk look like more attractive, I feel like. I don't know. So yes, I splurged. I think this was I don't know, I think this was like $10-15. I'm gonna overestimate. It was $20 on Amazon. I'm gonna overestimate. Yeah, let's just say $20. And it's pretty big too, because I don't know if this is the biggest desk size they have of this model at IKEA. I think it is. And it still doesn't take up all the space, which I don't really want it to. I still kind of want to see the white underneath, but yeah. Now I work in color. Do you guys like your new room? Do you like it, Kobe? You need a haircut. You need a haircut. Yes. Oh, you too? Oh, you too? You too?
I don't think I've been giving my dogs enough credit or recognition. My dogs have been my companions the last few years. They've been my family the last few years. I think at this point, they have seen me go through a little bit of everything in my early adulthood. When I had no family, they were the ones I would spend holidays, my birthdays, and weekend outings with. I wonder if they know that their mom will soon be adding another member to our family, and that they may or may not be furry like them. And I get worried. They're also attached to me, and with the weeks progressing, I'm noticing a change in their behavior. They're growing more attached and affectionate towards me. None of them will keep me out of their sight, not even when I do want some privacy or alone time. Every day, it's a constant battle between all three of them of who will take turns laying next to you, who will sleep near my belly every night, and who will lay their heads on my belly. It's endearing in a way. I think they do know that you're growing in my belly. They all stopped trying to jump on my belly. They don't even try to climb over you, or they barely even go near my belly area. I think they know there's something precious inside of there, and I don't want to hurt you. Especially Kobe. He knows. I think he knows for sure. He was trained and lived with your dad until recently, so Kobe never really looked at me or took me seriously when it came to discipline. And quite frankly, I've never been strict with any of my dogs. I usually just let them exist. Your dad was more of the disciplinary person. even with Katie and Cody, they listened more to him than they ever did to me. I was always more of the pushover parent. But now, Kobe, he's more affectionate and gentler with me. He doesn't give me a hard time. Instead, he's become a big emotional support for me. I mean, he always was whenever I was with him. I felt I could confide in him. I felt safe with him. But now it's like dogs know. They can sense our emotions the same way babies and children can. He's protective of me now. He's always making sure that I'm doing okay.
Be a good boy. To Burlington years. I have a $50 gift card that one of my mom's coworkers gave to me as a present. So I don't even know how I want to spend it. I don't know what I should do. I have this thicker curly hair detangler. Baby for sure is gonna have curly hair. Oh, it's $5. So cheap. Oh, they have this one too. They have Frida Baby, fine or straight hair detangler. Honestly, me and Dad both have wavy curly hair, so I don't know. Also has a Bible verse. Trying to figure out how I can send this. I'm so tempted to just like get this. It's gonna suck if baby doesn't have like thicker curly hair. I don't know. They for sure will. Yeah, there's like no way. This isn't for like babies. So I only ended up spending about $20, so I have about $30 left on the gift card. Maybe another day I'll try to go to a different Burlington, see if maybe they have some more onesies or even some stuff directly for the baby or the nursery. So we are continuing on the mission on spending all $50 on the Burlington gift card. I did not forget about the Burlington gift card. I just not that I've never been to a Burlington, but I haven't been to Burlington while living in California in years, honestly, because on the East Coast we don't really have Ross. So when I moved here and I was living in LA, it's predominantly Ross's that you'll find. But don't worry, me and discount stores we're super acquainted. I love a good discount. And I used to buy, at most, at Ross, I used to just buy like home good stuff. Here and there, depending, like if I found like something really marked down when it came to like name brands like sportswear or like leggings,
That's the only other time I remember buying something other than like home goods, but that was also at Ross. And I know like the selection does vary from like Ross to Ross, so same thing I feel like applies to I feel like it's the same thing that applies to Burlingtons and stuff. The Burlington that I went to the other day was really out of my way. I only went there because my mom said like, oh, like Burlingtons carry really nice stuff depending on the area that they're in. I don't know, that's what she says. So that's why I went all the way out there. It was like super inland, way out of my way, but I was like, well, why not? Let's like make it into a little like fun thing to do for the day. They did have cute things, just not what I was like looking for. They didn't have, I'm more interested in like finding nursery items, or I'm interested in finding more like items that I need in terms of like baby supplies, and they didn't really have a lot, which was a little bit disappointing. So that's why I ended up just picking up 1 or 2 onesies. They were cute. They were cute. I know when it comes to clothing, I'm gonna have the hardest time because I know how I like to dress, and I'm kind of particular on like what I like to wear. So oh my god, it's gonna be really hard like making these decisions for a child. And in like hindsight, like it's not really like, okay, like you're pushing it, Priscilla, like you're like overthinking it too much. It's just like kids' clothes. But I don't know, like I don't know. I'm very indecisive when it comes to things like this, that, at least things that I find important. So, well, I just, at the next light, every time I have looked at baby clothes, it's really hard for me to decide like what I like or like what I want my baby to like dress like. And then I feel fucked up even thinking like that, because this is like, it's a baby, like, you know, they just, as long as they are comfortable, they're well dressed, and at the light. Use the left 2 lanes to turn onto path 5. There's a Ross here. We might go to Ross after if we don't find anything at Burlington. The Ross here must be nice. Let's see what they have in here. Is this a sign? Should I just get it? They only have one of the brushes that I saw at the other one, and it's the one for thick and curly hair. I'm just worried because will I be able to use this within the first year? Yeah, right? I feel like this is for a toddler. Okay, if I don't find anything better to take, I will take this. What if baby has like straight Asian hair? I doubt it, but like so we did it. I was able to spend the remaining $30 on the gift card. Unfortunately, the only item that it went to like towards like baby care was that the Frida brush that I ended up getting for the curly hair. So hopefully baby has curly hair eventually so we can use it. But everything else was pretty much the socks, and then I got a couple of onesies. I will say they did have a better selection here than they did at the previous Burlington I went to. Now I'm gonna go off to Ross. I actually am kind of excited. I haven't been in Ross in a while, and I really love Ross. I ended up getting this silicone, and I got 2 other teethers. I thought they were so cute. Adorable. Then I also got this. Wow. Okay. Wow. that was kind of fun. That was really fun. I had more fun at this Burlington for some reason than I did at the previous one. They're both pretty big. I'm wondering why. I don't know why this one had like, it was just much more organized and there was like more selection. And like the people were like more pleasant inside of this one. Not that they weren't pleasant at the other one, but like, I don't know, the workers seemed happier here. One of the guys even, one of the workers just started talking to me how he has like a date tonight. But he's like uncomfortable to like go to like, because of his body, he feels uncomfortable going to like the gay bars because everyone's like making out and he feels like so insecure because of the way he looks. So interesting. That's no longer my life, dating, but it was really nice. And he asked me when my due date was, and I told him the due date. He's like, oh my god, like hopefully, because he ended up being a Taurus, and I was like, oh, I hope my baby's a Taurus. Like that'll be nice. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what horoscope sign, but you know, I like to like talk about things like that because it's very, you know, like silly conversations about personality and stuff. But yeah, I either want boba or a refreshing drink. Maybe I should, I don't have my contacts on, so I can't really see too. I forgot Brea has a lot of like Asian, it's like also like predominantly like Asian, I think. So like I totally forgot that. So maybe I'll find a boba place around here. And if not, I want something like I really want something cold. I want something cold and refreshing. And if not, I'll settle for an iced milk tea. That sounds good too. Wow. Yeah, that was fun. That was actually really fun. I felt more comfortable this time around shopping for like baby stuff. I still get a little awkward. Still obviously overthinking like, what is baby like? What if baby doesn't like this? But I think the closer I get to the 3rd trimester and then the end of my pregnancy, I think I'll be in, I won't be second guessing myself so much on my maternal instincts, I guess.
You gave me a bit of a scare a few days ago. I was walking along the same trail, but instead I was somewhere up in the hills taking the skyline in. The only thing that was strange about this day was I decided to go on this last-minute hike alone, even without Kobe. I don't know, that Saturday I was just feeling strange. I wanted to clear my mind and I felt restless, so I came here, a trail near my house, to decompress. It's strange. I usually never go on long walks or hikes without Kobe, but for some reason this day, I decided it would be best to go on one alone. The sun was beginning to set, and it was the end of another peaceful yet uneventful day in my pregnancy. And when I was walking back to the beginning of the trailhead towards my car, I felt this weird pressure, this drop in my lower abdomen, followed by the most intense, sharp pain I've ever felt. I didn't know what was happening or what it meant, but I got scared, especially since I was alone. Usually, I don't feel worried or scared when I go on hikes, with or without Kobe keeping me company. But this day, not having him next to me made me feel even more vulnerable. When I was able to get to my car, I called my mom. And soon enough, my stepdad and my mom took me all the way to UCLA on a busy Saturday night. The whole car ride to Westwood, I felt like a failure. And I kept telling my mom, there's no way I can have my baby right now. I can't give birth now. I had one job. I had one very important job to do for the next 9 months. And it was to be as healthy as I could be for you, so I could hopefully carry you to full term, so that I could successfully make it to 37 weeks. And in that car ride, I felt like a failure, as though I already failed you as your mom. I felt powerless, which made me upset. I always knew there was a chance that I could potentially give birth sooner than later, but not this soon. I didn't want to be the reason why my baby would not be healthy and happy. My self-esteem immediately shot down, and even in writing this now, I'm still insecure about my abilities to carry you to full term. Nothing is more important to me than giving birth to a healthy and happy baby. After my only visit to the emergency room since my pregnancy started, it really shook me up. Since that unexpected trip, things have felt more serious to me than they previously were. You may only have me to depend on for the rest of your life. And unfortunately, I definitely won't be around forever. But I will try to be around for as long as I can be. Since it really is just you and me, how do I get myself to a house on top of a hill like the ones here without my parents' help? How do I secure a beautiful environment for you to grow up in without my parents' help? A part of me wants to just take you somewhere beautiful and further away from this mess. I want to live somewhere peaceful where we can start a new life together. But because I am your mom, I'm worried that I would be driving a further wedge unintentionally between you and your dad ever having a real relationship. What do you think? Is it too impulsive or selfish of me to consider wanting to move far away with you? Should we? Should we just start a new life somewhere where we don't know anyone and take it from there? Why does it feel like I'm writing a goodbye letter when we'll be meeting sooner rather than later? Wherever we may end up in the weeks remaining and the next months and years to come, I hope that you're happy. I hope that you enjoy spending time with me and our dogs as much as I enjoy spending time with you. I don't have a concrete plan for us past giving birth to you. Everything else sits as just one big question mark. And I think it's fine if we leave it like that for a bit longer and we can just figure it out as we go. I have many ideas, ambitions, and aspirations for the both of us that I can only hope and daydream about and pray every night that they come to fruition in their own way. For myself, I want to keep being healthy and finish school once and for all and begin living the life of purpose and helping others. As for you, I want you to come into this world and live a happy and healthy and long life. I want you to grow into your own person with your own thoughts and opinions on the world around you. And I hope that I'm able to show you many pretty places and meet many different people along the way. I hope that you grow to love Katie, Kobe, and Cody in the same way that I do. And I hope you can look to them for comfort when you can't find it in me. I hope they can be your best friends for the years left that they have. Although our family may be smaller and look different than your peers in the future, I hope that you can look at us as your family and be proud to call us your family. Once you have all your shots and I feel confident around you, let's come to the beach. A beach where we can also spend time with our dogs. By that time, I will no longer be people watching or admiring other families together at the beach. I'll probably be smiling and infatuated with you by then. Someone else may be in my shoes at that time, people watching us and daydreaming about their own future as a single mom. I wish time would slow down, or if I could just go back to a few weeks ago and just relive some of these moments that I've gotten to spend with you without a care in the world. Just a few weeks ago, I remember thinking, I still have time. I still have all these weeks left to work on getting ready for you. Kind of third trimester. be good to me the same way the last few months have been. I feel overall really lucky that despite the sad and hurtful times we've experienced together, tomorrow and every day after that is looking more brighter as the days go on. I tried my hardest to make this pregnancy a memorable and special one in my own way. I took us to many pretty places and took many pretty pictures together. Every week, I made sure to document how much you were growing and continuing to keep me company, when otherwise, I didn't have much else of it. I hope next year we can go back to all these pretty places, but with you in my arms. See you real soon. Really soon.